Monday Live on Facebook Live with EntreDot. And I'm Bill Warner, your host for this evening, as I have been over the last several months. So welcome. Hey, look, tonight I would like to talk about the subject of differentiation. Differentiation in many different regards, as I'll get to in a minute. I'm kind of defining differentiation as how you're going to differentiate yourself from your competitors, because that's what your marketing programs are going to have to be able to do. So I presume, for purposes of this discussion, that the market research is done. You've figured out what you're going to do. You've got a market you're chasing. But the first thing you want to make sure that you've done what marketing people call positioning. This is position yourself in a market. So when you did your market research, you assessed an industry in several markets and sub-markets within it and selected the one or two, hopefully one, since one is enough to keep any entrepreneur gainfully employed for quite a while. One that is the one that is going to be the best for you. That has, some people call it the sweet spot for what you're trying to do. So your sweet spot is a market segment full of buyers that have the need that you're going to fulfill with your product or services. That's positioning. You didn't pick another market that had fewer participants that would be interested in and don't perhaps find the same level of interest in the need that you're talking about. Your market research told you those things. So I'm assuming you are properly positioned and you've selected a market that's good for you. Simple. Now, the task at hand is beat every other company that's going after this very same market for the very same need, and I use that term loosely. It means that you're solving the same problem, or you're going after the same opportunity or the same social cause. All are different forms of needs. They're going after the very same one that you're going after in this very same market. So this narrows down to hopefully a much smaller set of the competitors you're going to be doing battle with. So when we talk about differentiation, we're differentiating ourselves from them, not a whole bunch of other people. The ones that you're gonna meet in the marketplace, and you have to be superior to them in order to win. Presumably, you're going to run across them when you encounter a customer you want to do business with that they probably are looking at some of your competitors. You want to make sure that you win the beauty contest. So I want to cover areas of differentiation now, and I'm going to do 7 of them. The first is the most obvious. It's product differentiation. So it's a thing. Something that's manufactured, or it could be a product that's an online service. So your differentiation comes down to the features of your product, what it's able to do. And they address the most important needs that the customers that you're trying to sell to have. And you're able to support the importance of these needs because the benefits, the quantifiable benefits, hear that word, quantifiable. That is, you're able to explain to one of your prospective customers quantifiably how much better you are than others, what you can do for them. These are things like increase revenue by some percent, reduce cost of goods sold by some percent, reduce operating expense in certain areas by some percent, gain new customers by some percent, improve your marketing programs by some percent, whatever the heck it is you're providing for them. It's quantifiable, and it hits upon the top say 5. I'm going to use the number 5. It could be 6. It could be 3. But let's talk about maybe it's 5. You've got 5 points of differentiation that you are able to demonstrably show that you have quantifiable benefits for these customers that you're selling to, and that these benefits are better than anything any of these competitors are providing. Pretty simple. That's how you win. That's product differentiation. Its cousin is services differentiation. So now I'm talking about consulting firms, accounting firms. Can't talk about law firms because they don't advertise or don't do much marketing. But any business that requires a methodology to perform, it's performed by people, not software or hardware, but by people. So with respect to services, the intellectual property that does all this is the methodology for your service. Your differentiation could be things like you got more experience than anybody else. You have testimonials from some of the best and relevant customers that a viewer of your website can read and say, oh, look at the great work they did. Case studies can show in a page or two how the good work that you do and how you do it. So anything you can talk about with respect to how you do it and your experience and your competency at it is a form of differentiation. So you prove your superiority by what you have done and have others help you tell your story. That's why you need testimonials and case studies and stuff like that. So that's number 2 for services. Sometimes these go together. Company does products and services. They're married together. The products become assets for services being performed. So the next one you might not think of is differentiating yourself in marketing, your own marketing. So you do a better job of reaching customers. When you reach them, you establish strong relationships with them. You view a customer as someone you're going to do business with, and you establish a strong relationship with. Not many people think of, marketing lead generation as establishing a relationship. Well, damn it, they should, because they're about to take on somebody that maybe the relationship is going to last for years, many months, years sometimes. So you have greater efficiency in your marketing lead generation process and closing leads, and you're using the best marketing channels. So the differentiation here is you can outmarket because you're better at it, more comprehensive, using the right channels, the right way, with the right experts, managing your marketing campaigns. So you get leads quicker and more of them because the marketing work you're doing. So you can beat competitors by getting more leads that are better than theirs. That's marketing differentiation. The fourth one is sales differentiation, kind of follows. So you hire the best salespeople, people with experience. The experience is a differentiator. They're process-oriented people. They manage a sales process. They know all the ropes of how to take someone through to one of the 11 or 12 closes that are possible. I don't even know what the right number is, but there are a number of ways to close deals, depending on the situation. So a very process-oriented, running off a CRM database, so you keep track of the progress of the sales process. So sales efficiency, and the efficiency of the sales process itself, reduces cycle time for closure of a deal, and thus a salesperson could sell more because they got more time to do it with, because it didn't take them as long to sell as their competitors. So you can beat your competition in sales as well by having a better sales organization. So with respect to marketing and sales, the message there is hire the best, because it's going to pay off readily, because you're going to get more leads and get more deals closed quicker. Pretty darn simple. Trouble is, not a lot of people think about it that way, and they kind of don't do the right job for marketing and sales, and things get slow. And then they wonder why they're losing, because they're not making enough sales and they're running out of money sometimes. Okay, number 5, support. Customer support, post-sales I'm talking about now. I'm talking about pre-sales, marketing, and sales work. But support from the time of installation, where you have lots of online help, chat rooms that people can go to when they get confused, online videos that help them through that process. So you've got rich content readily available, easy to find. So a customer, if they have a question or they don't understand something, there's plenty of resources they can go to without calling you up on the telephone or sending you an email. It's going to take people to answer. You want your own support services to be as automated as possible. Certainly at some point you're going to have to talk to somebody. You're going to totally avoid it, but you can do a lot of things to reduce it in the first place. So the competitiveness that you've achieved is reduced service cost, reduced time in terms of responding to your customers' questions, happier customers because they're getting their answers quickly. You want customers saying, this is a great company to work with. I get my questions answered like that. And when I can't find it, I can get somebody over chat or text to answer me, and they do it within an hour or two. That's the kind of differentiation that your competitors, they may think of the same things, many don't. You could beat them in the support game because you're a better company to work with than them. That's number 5. Number 6 is a little bit more out there, if you will, but it's real. Differentiation of you and your company in the industry that you're in, not just your market, which we just got through talking about, but generally speaking, if you publish your blog articles or you write for trade magazines and things like that, you will become a person in the industry worth knowing, because you're going to portray yourself as an expert on certain subjects. So you write about it, you do videos about it, you do speaking engagements, you maybe do some online broadcasting like this, hopefully more successful than I'm doing, hopefully, where you reach thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people, maybe more even. And you've seen it happen every day. You see people on Facebook and LinkedIn that are like this, very well-known people. So you do these kinds of things and you gain a very positive reputation. Well, how does that differentiate you? Well, this company is run by Joe Smith, who is an expert in this industry. Look at what he's written. I've heard him speak. See what he's published. I've seen his podcast, and on and on and on. And this person starts to gain a reputation. So when it's time for your salespeople to sell to certain individuals, many of them are going to know that Joe Smith is that guy that's pretty well known in the industry and has a good reputation. This may be a really good company to buy from because he's running it. So that's industry differentiation. The final one is financial differentiation, which is maybe hard to put your hands around. But if you're a well-financed company, if you had investors, for example, or you've been able to cobble together a number of private individuals and you got a good cash reserve, you got a lot of money, so that when it comes time to fund something else or we get in trouble, we got to reduce something, you got the cash reserves to handle it. So this form of differentiation, in other words, you got cash on hand, but this form of differentiation is you can be more resilient to problems coming up if you have money. So a strong cash position, or the ability to get a strong ability to get more cash from current or investors in particular, makes you a stronger competitor. You're less afraid that you're going to get outspent. Because some companies spend a lot of money on marketing and sales and bury you alive. But if you have a good reserve, if you will, to compete against that, that's going to put you in a better position. So there's 7 points of differentiation. So let's talk now to get towards wrapping this up is what to do with this marketing differentiation. So I've implied in all this that you've got those 5 things that make you different in really quantifiable ways. Guess what? They become your 5 marketing messages right there on your home page. Boom, 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 boom. Talking about your differentiation in a very hard-hitting way in not too many words, like 6 or 7 each. Later on, when people go to your product page or your services page, they can learn much more about it. But you hit them right in the face on your home page with your main marketing messages. You've done all this work. Now you're going to go out there and claim them as your differentiators. So I've talked to you before about marketing, and after you create awareness, the very next thing, people who become aware that you exist, they're going to go to your website and check you out. The first thing they're going to see are these marketing messages. That's what you want them to see. And then go further in exploring more about it. So 5 or 6, the best of the best, and quantitatively so. That's how you portray your differentiation. So wrap it up here for a Monday Night Live here. Pick your differentiation carefully. Make sure it's relevant to the market you're in and is hitting upon the needs of the customers you intend to serve. And the messages are the ones that really matter. I really did mean 5. And you probably could come up with 10 or 15. But what are the 5 big hitters? Say them. Once you've got them in front of you, you could hit them with another 10 if you'd like, if it's necessary. But you only got a little bit of time to get their attention when you portray these 5 messages on your website. And when you first meet them in a networking meeting or something like that, you talk about 2 or 3 of them maybe. And so this is something you got to stay on it, and keep all this stuff current. Refresh your messages over time as you learn more as to how well they're working, and refine them also as you get further experience and feedback from the people you're trying to sell to. So that's it for tonight. That's all about that's much about differentiation. There's probably much more than marketing experts can take you through. But it's really, really important that when you go to market, or if you're already in the market, that you make sure that you're doing this well. If you're lagging behind, there could be some good reasons for it, and one of them could be is that you're not showing your differentiation powerfully enough. So with that, I'll leave you. Have a good evening. Again, my name is Bill Warner, and I'm with EntreDot. Have a good night.